Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, back for my post-market wrap-up. Alright, on this lovely day. Lovely for a bunch of reasons, and we're going to put a real perspective on a few things because we heard from some pretty lofty people today that we need to be on guard for what may be coming down the pike. I want to talk about that. Very important stuff here. So it is Thursday, September 6th, 2018. Let me start off with this because it kind of hit me a little bit. We found out that actor Burt Reynolds did pass away at the age of 82. I hope this guy rests in peace. I mean, Burt, thank you for the laughs, and the bandit has left the building. With that said, let's talk about these markets. So what happened? The Dow Jones Industrial Average put on a fractional gain today. Both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ finished in the red. Nothing dramatic. Now, this entire week has been one of, I would have to say, pressure on the markets. Now, if you recall, on my weekend segment, which I happened to do this past Sunday, I explained to you that the word for this week was caution. So far, it has played out to be correct. There's so much going on geopolitically, a lot of uncertainty. Uncertainty means the markets hate uncertainty. So that's why we're getting a lot of this. But as you can see, and I talked about this earlier today, and it's the same disgusting, vomitous story that repeats over and over again. Mysterious entity gets in here, starts buying up bonds like these are the last bonds in the history of the world, that fosters the environment of risk. Cash moves into stocks, or at least prevents stocks from taking a real tumble here. But meanwhile, Congress, they got to sit there and argue about nonsensical things, people being distracted by anthem kneelers. I mean, it's just utterly insane. Look here. Do not look here. Speaking about looking in directions where you should be looking, so Forbes magazine, this is honestly one of the flagships since 1917 with regard to financial markets, global markets. I mean, it looks like I wrote the article. They put out a very dire warning about where we are right now, explaining that there is no recovery, this is no economic boom, we are existing in a very dangerous multi-bubble economy, including the stock market, and we could all look forward to a crash worse than 2008. I mean, does that just about say it all? Ray Dalio, you know who this guy is? He started the world's largest hedge fund, is telling people they should be prepared for another financial and economic meltdown. But the stock market is completely disconnected from it. And why? Look, this is an unbelievable environment that we have never been in before, where world central banks are propping everything up. They're not just buying up debt here. The Federal Reserve has a trading desk. Other world central banks also have trading desks. They're out there buying up stocks. That's what they're doing to keep this propped up. And it's an engineered disaster, and it's being done on purpose. It's the same story. All of the world central banks do the same things at the same time. So, here in America, everyone lives in their little box. You know that. People have no idea what's going on anywhere else. Just right here and right now. People in this country, the United States, are dumbed down to the point of almost being, well, they are, like subhuman animals. Animals live in the moment. They don't think about the future. No. They don't even think about the past. They don't learn from the past. So they live in the here and the now, and in their little box. And this is something that is exploited by, those that even have a couple of more, maybe not a couple of more functioning brain cells, but are able to think a little bit more because they're not getting distracted by, again, anthem kneelers or whatever other garbage they got to fist feed us. It's insane. Anonymous articles. This is all a distraction. Look here, don't look here, don't pay attention to what's going on anywhere. And that falls right into the next category. Wells Fargo, the bank, yet again is embroiled in another scandal. Apparently, documents were being altered, thousands of them, and they're under investigation. And it's hitting their stock right now. But you know what's going to happen? Zero. Do you know why? Because people, for the most part, are, again, so insanely over the top, dumbed down to being subhuman, pretty much. They don't pay attention to these things. It's all about the distraction. They don't say a word. And they are counting on our corrupt elected officials to do something. Are you kidding me? It's never going to happen. Never. And this scenario is going to happen again and again and again because the people here in the United States cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. Can't happen. Not you, but most people, forget it. They're gone. They're absolutely gone. It's too much. So anyway, let's cover a few more things. The dollar earlier was under some pressure. The dollar finished at about the flat line, and with that, pretty much took any gains away from gold and silver. I think silver finished in the negative fractionally, gold finished in the positive fractionally. But again, they were buying up those bonds. They have to do it. I'll tell you, I can't wait for the day in many, many ways, and I don't know when this is going to happen. When all of this corrects to a fair value. It's going to. I mean, we're getting warnings from, again, some pretty lofty people who, again, there's no way anybody here is smart enough, including me, including Ray Dalio, including the Forbes magazine, to put a target on when this is all going to correct because it's managed. We've never been here. We don't know anymore. It's an impossibility. We do know it will happen when we reach a moment of maximum saturation or some event which I don't think anybody is going to be able to pick out. It may be some insignificant thing which starts a cascade of events because, again, understand, the middle class is never and has never throughout history been allowed to hold on to its wealth. The middle class is used as a pawn in a game to, again, inflate the stock market bubble. We've seen this over and over again without exception. Look at every single meltdown that we have had. So the middle class, gets all greedy. It's the truth. Putting their cash into stocks. Oh, it's going up today. Oh my God, my stocks are looking great. And then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out. This is done on purpose to, again, foster the wealth transfer from the middle class to the 1%. The middle class throughout history has never been allowed to keep their wealth, and they will not be allowed here. As a matter of fact, we understand what's happening to the middle class right now. I mean, it just never changes under the last president before him, the current president. The middle class always gets decimated. The people on the low end of the spectrum, they're already decimated. There's nothing left there. They've been sucked dry. The middle class consistently is used as a mechanism or a means to an end. Inflate stock market bubbles, let that bubble burst, investment banks short it all, wealth gets transferred. That's all it is. It's just the most simple thing. I mean, you've got Forbes magazine, Ray Dalio, Greg Mannarino here explaining to you that this is all going to correct to fair value. That's all that's going to happen. It's a wealth transfer. That's all. But this time is going to leave the middle class more decimated, in my opinion. And the author of the article in Forbes magazine, more decimated than they have ever been. And this might be it. I mean, I can't imagine a way to recover from it without a completely new system, something I've been talking about for years, which will not, once again, be in our favor. It will always favor the 1%. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. So what should you do about it? I guess try to become one of the 1%. I don't know. There's no way to win. We can't beat them. I don't care what anyone's going to say here that President Trump has a plan. Obviously, there's no plan. We know this. It's just too stupid. These are the in-the-box thinkers. They have no idea what's going on. That's okay. Again, we need these kind of people out there. There's always the bell curve here. People on this end, people on this end. Most people fall here. There's always the ones over there. And they're the ones that get taken advantage of hardcore when these things fix themselves, because that's what's going to happen. The free market will win at one point. We have no free market, but the market will dictate value at one point. And when it dictates, it's going to scream. And I mean scream. With that said, we will reconvene tomorrow right in this lovely spot. Hey, if I covered anything important in this video, please give me a thumbs up. That, you don't understand how happy it makes me when I see a thumbs up there. I just love it. I don't know why. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right in this crazy world. And then if you feel like it, share it. Get it out there. Let people hear this stuff, because they're not going to hear it on in any of the mainstream channels. They're just going to be brainwashed and strung along. Look here. Look here. Don't look here. See you tomorrow.